Okay guys, hi, welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and hit the little bell to get notified every time I post. Okay, so this is a video I've been wanting to do for a while now. Not many people know, only people close to me know about my trying to conceive struggles. So I'm gonna do first a little introduction. I was born in California, in Los Angeles. I lived over there until I was about 10 years old. That's when my parents moved over here to Fort Worth, Texas. I went to school here, 5th grade all the way through high school. Okay, so I met my now husband in high school. I went to Pascal High School in Fort Worth, Texas. I met him when I was a junior in high school. He was a senior. We started dating November 20th, 2006. After he graduated, he wanted to join the Marine Corps, but at the time he was not able to. He was wearing braces, so obviously you can't join when you're wearing braces, if you didn't know. But so he stayed here through my senior year. Okay, so we found out that I was pregnant in June, or I got pregnant in June of 2008. I had just graduated, and we found out right before he was going off to boot camp. So he went to boot camp. Obviously my parents weren't too happy about me being pregnant at 17. I was still 17. I was not going to turn 18 until that September, which this was that summer after my senior year. So he went to boot camp. He came back, he talked to my dad, and we decided to get married. So we got married within those few days that he was here from boot camp till he had to go to his training. Anyway, so yeah, we got married and he got stationed in Camp Pendleton. And at that point, I was 18. I had no idea that something could possibly be wrong with me. I had my daughter March 2009. So after I had her, mind you, before this, I had very, very irregular periods, and I just didn't know why. I didn't know there was a syndrome to this, or I was 18. I had just turned 18. I had no idea about anything. I just thought that being irregular was because I was young, though that's what my mom would tell me. I got pregnant, so I didn't think anything, of it. So after I had my daughter, I actually got on the Paragard IUD. That one is the copper IUD, the one without hormones. And that one is good for 10 years. I think Mirena is the other kind. I know there's several different kinds, but those were the options I was given. And the Mirena is good for 5 years, I believe. And that one does have hormones. So I went for the Paragard. I figured I didn't want any kids in the near future because, I was so young. So I got the Paragard, and after the Paragard and after having my daughter, I became semi-regular. I don't want to say, before I had her, I would go sometimes 3-4 months without a cycle, and I really didn't think too much of it, or to even ask a doctor anything or anything. I was so young. So then after I had her, I would get a period maybe every, I want to say at the most 40 days. I don't know. I never really tracked it. It never went, a ridiculous amount of time to where it was concerning for me to even have any kind of questions or any concerns, I guess you could say. So fast forward to 2017, I want to say like around September, August or September, I took my IUD out because I had already had it in for 7, almost 8 years, and it actually started giving me problems with spotting. I know TMI, I'm sorry, but so I would just sometimes when I had the IUD, I would spot a couple of days before I actually started my cycle, but it started getting to where I would just spot all the time. It just would not go away. So I went to my gynecologist, and I stated my concern about that, and we decided to actually take it out. So I started taking the pill, and the spotting stopped. And after that, I took the pill for like 3 months, and then I stopped taking it. I didn't really find the need to take it anymore. My period was regular, I guess, after that for those 3 months. But then once I stopped, I went, I want to say almost 2 months without a cycle, and then finally I got my cycle back in January of 2018. And since I wasn't on any form of birth control, I guess we decided that, you know, it was time to start trying to have another baby. So we started maybe, I want to say January, February of 2018. My cycles were still semi-regular at that point. I think they weren't like super regular, but it was like 45 days at the most, I think, or, you know, 40, 35, like they varied. So at that point, you know, we were just trying with what I would track my cycle and, you know, my fertile days, all that stuff. And I started taking prenatals and, you know, everything that, you know, I did my research, you know, trying to conceive and everything. And finally in June, right before Father's Day, I think I was about 10 to 15 days late. Since my cycle wasn't super, you know, regular, I really didn't think much of it, but I still took a test. So June, right before Father's Day, my daughter was actually in Mexico with my mom at this time. And I remember I took a test early in the morning before going to work, and I didn't expect anything. This was June, so it had been 6 months already trying and nothing. So I took a shower in the morning before going to work. I took a test, I put it on the counter, and when I got out of the shower and I was getting dressed, I looked at it, and it looked like it had a very, very, very faint line. So the apps I would use, mainly the app I used to for my trying to conceive journey is Glow. So that's where I would track, you know, my cycles, my fertile days, you know, all that stuff. And they have a little community in there that you can, it's great, like if you have any kind of question about babies, trying to conceive, anything pretty much, you can go in there and post and ask. And I went on there, I took a picture of my test, because, you know, crazy trying to conceive women like me go on there, post, and you post pictures because you're so desperate for it to be positive that sometimes it's just an obvious negative, and you still post it just for the pure fact that you want that little hope. So I posted on there, and they were telling me that you can actually see a very, very faint line. So I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I can't believe it. Obviously, I didn't want to get my hopes up until I was like certain that it was a positive. So I got to work, and on my break I went to Walmart because I could not wait to get off or to go during lunch. I was so anxious. I went to Walmart and I got me the one I took in the morning was a little So on Amazon sells the boxes of ovulation tests that come with pregnancy tests. It's like a more affordable option to the women trying to conceive. So because obviously of brand ones like Clear Blue or First Response, all that stuff's expensive. So gives you in bulk. I think normally the one I would get is like 50 ovulation tests, and like it comes with 20 pregnancy tests. And obviously the First Response, they're the early detection, so they're more sensitive. So the one I took that morning was actually one from the Amazon bulk that I buy for the ovulation test. So that's why I was like, I don't know, I don't want to trust it. So I actually went during my break to get me a First Response. And yes, I took it at work. I couldn't wait. And when I took it at work, I mean, that one was obvious. It was positive. So I was over the moon, you know, like it's been 6 months. And in reality, in trying to conceive world, it's a whole different world. It's a whole different language. You learn all these abbreviations, all this slang, it's a completely different language that you speak. And in the trying to conceive world, 6 months is really not long. I didn't know that. I thought that, I couldn't believe it because it was my, with my daughter, I didn't try. It just happened. I was 17 when I got pregnant with her. So I didn't know what some women go through to try to have a baby. Little did I know what I was in for. Oh, it's a pretty tough topic for me to talk about. Okay, so in the trying to conceive world, 6 months is not. I didn't think I was gonna get like this. I couldn't wait to tell my husband. So I started Googling all kind of cute ways to tell him. Obviously, I wasn't gonna tell my daughter yet. She was in Mexico, but I actually found this cute idea on Pinterest where you put a bun in the oven, no pun intended, right? And I made him, it was Father's Day, so it was perfect. I was like, I so wanted to tell him when I got home, but I decided to wait till Father's Day. And actually I didn't wait till Father's Day. I couldn't. Come on now, it had been 10 years since I'd been pregnant, and it was just so surreal. So I went to the little pregnancy clinic just to verify, I couldn't believe it. And I went and got my husband his Father's Day present, and in that present, obviously, it was gonna be, letting him know that he was gonna be a dad again. And so I did the whole bun in the oven, and I even ordered this cute oh my gosh, I even ordered this cute wine, what would you call it, and label, a wine label that said, it's so cute. It says, drink this for me, you're an auntie to be. And I was gonna give that to my sister. It's really cute. You print it out and you put it on top, or you take off whatever wine bottle. You can buy whatever wine bottle you want, and you put it over the original one, and then obviously you give it to the auntie. And I was so excited to use that. So Sunday was Father's Day, and I told my husband on Saturday because I couldn't wait, couldn't hold it. And he was just really shocked. Really, he was in disbelief, I guess. That was on a Saturday, so I went to bed that night. And in the morning, my back was hurting really bad. And I went to the restroom and I was bleeding. Oh my gosh, this is so hard. I didn't think it was gonna be this hard. And then we went to the ER just to be sure. And they did a pregnancy test, a sonogram, and I was no longer pregnant. Devastated is an understatement because I was just on Father's Day too. I feel so bad I didn't even go see my dad, and he still doesn't even know why I didn't tell him. And my sister, my mom, and my daughter, they're in Mexico. So at this point, I obviously had confirmation that I lost the baby. And you are trying to conceive, and I can only imagine that it just hurts regardless, whether you were trying to conceive, whether you were expecting it, whether you weren't. It's such a pain that I do not wish it upon my worst enemy. This has been the hardest thing I've ever gone through, and this miscarriage is just the beginning of my journey, and I had no idea. So after this, my husband's like, we'll just keep trying, you know. And as much as I want to have that positive look on things, you know, I can't help but think I had already in my mind a due date for my baby. I already had in my mind that I have a girl, so I really was hoping for a boy. I had even bought little shoes that I ordered online. I know I probably jumped the gun on that one, but I was just so excited, and to get that taken away just literally within a few days. Like, so after that was June. I went without a cycle till September, October. I don't remember, it's been so long, but point being was that it was a very, very long time that I didn't get a cycle. So I would Google stuff and do research and go on my Glow app, ask my Glow ladies or Glow friends you know, for advice, for input, or, you know, to see if maybe this had happened to some. So a lot of the research I did said, yeah, that sometimes after a miscarriage it took a while for you to get your cycle back. And I would take pregnancy after pregnancy, because I read also that sometimes you can get pregnant with after a miscarriage before even getting a cycle back. So, you know, obviously I would still be hopeful. I would buy pregnancy test after pregnancy test. I would Google, I'll make another video of all the stuff I've tried, and I bought all the pills all that I ordered off Amazon, off teas, anything that you could think of, anything that you could name, I did it. It had been 3 or 4 months already, and I wouldn't get my period back. So at that point, you know, I'm like, well, I can't get pregnant without a cycle. So I went to my OBGYN and to get answers for her to help me. You know, I was really praying for this baby, and it just was not happening. At this point, you're talking about the miscarriage happened in June, and now it's October, and I have not had a cycle, so and I'm not pregnant, so it was making me very frustrated, and I was getting desperate. I got so depressed. I gained a good amount of weight, which I still haven't lost, and that really obviously messes with you and your confidence level. And I was just so depressed, and I just would pray to God to give me a cycle to at least have a fair shot and be able to at least try to get pregnant, but it was not happening. And that's when I decided to go get tested, and the results came back that I have PCOS. What's PCOS? PCOS is a hormonal disorder. It's a hormonal imbalance. It basically it causes enlarged ovaries, and it causes cysts in your ovaries, making you gain weight and have very irregular cycles. And when I said my cycles were semi-regular, which I meant they would vary from like 35 days to 45 to 40, that's semi-regular. With PCOS, I'm talking about 2 to 3 months if I was lucky to get one. And some women are even worse off than me. Some women get 1 cycle out of the year, and when trying to conceive, that's very important. You really pray for a cycle. She induced my cycle and prescribed me clomiphene. So short, we call it Clomid. So for those of you that don't know, that's to induce ovulation, which to get pregnant you need to ovulate. And that is supposed to, you take it, she prescribed it to me. You can take it in different kinds of variations or whatever, but like some people take it like day 3 to 7. It's 5 days, it's 5 pills. So you started I started, I think it was 2 to 6, cycle day 2 to 6. Some people take it 3 to 7, 5 to 9. I guess it's just a preference on your doctor or whatever. So I mean, obviously I just followed her instructions. And then on day 14, which is technically the day you're supposed to ovulate, I guess, for a perfect 28-day cycle, you would ovulate on day 14, I'm sorry. And they ask you to come in and do an ultrasound to check for follicles, which follicles are, they're in your ovaries, and that's where when you start a new cycle, your follicles start growing until one becomes dominant, and on ovulation days when the follicle spits out the egg and you ovulate. So so then they do an ultrasound, and they do first they do the ultrasound to check if you even have any follicles that are, you know, anywhere near even where they need to be, I guess, to indicate that you are going to ovulate. Then they still ask you to be taking those ovulation tests, and once you think you got a positive or you get a positive, to call them, and then they schedule you for your day 21 draw, which is I guess technically it's not going to be on day 21 because every cycle is different, but technically it's 7 days after you ovulate. They draw your blood, and that's how they actually confirm that you ovulated, due to your progesterone levels in your blood. So once you get that positive ovulation test, they determine basically that you ovulate within the next 24 hours, and then they schedule you to come in 7 days after that to get your blood drawn, and like that they'll have confirmation if you did or did not ovulate. So what she told me was that anything over, I don't remember if she said 5 or 6, indicated ovulation. So my first cycle on Clomid was a fail. She started me on the lowest dose, which was 50. You have no idea what a woman goes through, what she is willing to put her body through just to try to conceive. Clomid is basically putting hormones into your body. That's basically what it is. And it's not very pretty sometimes, you know. You get, I remember sometimes it would be harder than other times, and it's just moody crying. I remember that my husband would just literally look at me and I would just start bawling my eyes, and he'd ask me, why are you crying? What's wrong? And I really didn't have an answer. I would just cry. And sometimes I'd be so angry. And I remember, it's so funny, my sister would ask me, let me know when you're starting your pill so, you know, I can stay away from you. Because it would get pretty bad, either emotional, angry. Obviously it makes you gain weight and so much stress on your body. And you do it so willingly because you just really, really want to become a mother. Either, you know, become a mother if you're not one already, or be a mother again. And so my first cycle was a fail. So then we go on to second cycle. Since I did not ovulate, they had to again prescribe me progesterone and induce my cycle. That's again more hormones added to your body. Then at that point, I believe my second one on Clomid, she upped my dose to, she started me off on 50, then she upped my dose to 100, and I believe on that one I did ovulate, but I did not get pregnant. I know. At that point I was a little bit more hopeful because I did ovulate, but I was starting to get worried or frustrated because they said normally if you're gonna get pregnant on Clomid, it's gonna happen within the first 3 cycles. They really don't like to do it a lot because it's not very healthy for you. So they, I think, only do a limit of 6 times. If you don't get pregnant within that time, I believe you need to take a break or something. And so don't quote me on this, I'm not an expert, it's just from my experience. And then after that, I actually did get my cycle naturally that time because I did ovulate, I just didn't get pregnant. And after that, my third one on Clomid, she did the same dose since I did ovulate. She kept it at 100, but my third cycle I actually did not ovulate. So again, she had to induce my cycle with progesterone. At this point, she decided that she was going to change my medication because there was past experience from different patients that she'd seen that once they switched from Clomid, sometimes Clomid wasn't any good for somebody, but this other medication that she was going to switch me to was. So she switched me to another pill that's does the same thing. It's actually used for cancer patients too, I believe, and it's called Letrozole or Femara. And she started me at 5, I think, and she gave me 2 doses of that, and I believe I did ovulate on both, but I did not get pregnant. So at that point, she wanted to do further testing to continue treating me or giving me medication. And all of this, it's like, you think about it and it's so much on your body, but it's also so much on your pocket. Like, it's expensive. So at this point, I was so depressed. I was gaining weight. I was not really doing, like, my life revolved around getting pregnant, trying to conceive. All my time, I would not be on social media anymore. I would just be on Glow, researching, asking questions, finding different medications or vitamins or pills that I could take for me to get my baby. And my life just turned into trying to conceive. That's all. I woke up thinking about trying to conceive. I went to sleep thinking about trying to conceive. That's all that crossed my mind. And at this point, you're already talking about me trying. When we first started the first round of Clomid, I had already been trying for, I think I started my first one in December. So at that point, it was almost a year trying to conceive. And by the time I took my last one, which was I think in May, that one was, I was already like a year and a half trying to conceive. And it just wasn't happening for me. I decided to take a break. That was, I believe, May 2019 was the last time I had a medicated cycle, because I just could not take it anymore. My body, my mind, my life, my family, it was just becoming overwhelming. So I decided to take a break and stop and have faith in God that if it was meant to happen, it would. Infertility it's so common, yet you really don't know what it is until you go through it. And even until this day, I kind of like just let it out of my mind and not really try to make myself think that I don't really care anymore if I end up ever having another baby, because I am blessed to even be a mom. I'm blessed to have my daughter, and if I ever question why God sent me her so young, now I don't, because I honestly would be lost if I didn't have her. And I'm just so thankful to be a mom, because there are some women now that I've been struggling through this, and on my Glow app, that you come across women trying to conceive too, and with dealing with infertility. And there's some women that aren't even blessed to even be a mom or have a baby, or go through miscarriage after miscarriage and wonder if they're ever even going to be a mom. And it's really really hard. And I just wish people were more mindful, more careful with their words, like when questioning women, when are you gonna have a baby, when are you gonna have another baby? Like, you don't know the struggles behind that, you know. I know my daughter's 10, and you might sit here and look at me and ask me, why haven't you had another baby? You know, it's time. I know, but little do you know everything I've put my body and my family through. And even then, it's not enough. And I really have no words. Like, I still sit here and pray every day. I'm about to turn 30, and at this point, I used to think I just really want a baby before 30, and now I just really want a baby, period. Whether it be before I'm 30 or after, I don't care. And I just try not to lose my faith, but sometimes I just try to come to terms with it. And it's like a grieving process also for you to come to terms with the fact that you might not ever have another baby. And it's just so difficult. And I try to keep my faith going. I try to stay positive. tried to just kind of like out of sight, out of mind. I recently just try to focus my energy and my time into other things, like making my videos kind of a distraction, and it's helped me a lot actually. It's distracted me from just surrounding my whole life with trying to conceive and just trying, you know, to understand that maybe there's a reason behind me not being able to have a baby at this moment. You know, a lot of people tell you when the time is right, and when you're going through this, it just makes you so mad. All you ever hope for is that positive pregnancy test, and even then, now at this point, if I were to even get that, I would be terrified. So be kind, be mindful of all these women that you might not know the story behind their struggles. It's one of the hardest journeys I've ever been on, and I have such a different understanding now. When I would go back and see women saying 6 months, oh my gosh, it's taking forever, 7 months, 8 months, even a year, and I was like, you really have no idea. And then I sit there and read about women been trying 10 years, and I can't even understand or begin to understand their pain. I just really wanted to share my story, because just how I'm sharing it, there's been many times where I've, you know, researched, Googled other women with my same problem to try to find faith, try to find hope, try to find, you know, that connection that only those that go through it understand. And if I can maybe be that for somebody, that would just mean everything to me. It's such a different level of connection when you come across somebody that knows your pain, because only they're gonna understand it, only they're gonna know how hard it really is. At this point, if I just never was blessed to have another baby, I would be, I guess I could say I would be okay with it, because he blessed me with such an amazing child. I'll make another video on all the stuff. I literally have a bag full of pills that I've bought and I've taken. The recent one that I started taking, that I feel like it's kind of been helping me regulate my period, because I'm trying to do it more so now on the natural side, where I even tried keto for a while, and that wasn't, I mean, it was okay, but I feel like since I was depriving myself of so many carbs, like when the weekend came, it was very easy for me to sit there and binge on carbs. And now I just kind of like decided to do more of a low carb diet, or so I'm trying. But with this quarantine thing, it's just hard, and with the gym being closed, so I'm just trying to stay positive and just kind of get my period to be regular, or to regulate my cycle through, you know, just diet and exercise. And I have been taking Alani new balance pills that Katie Hearn came out with, and I will probably do a review on those on another video. I just really wanted to share my story, and if I can be of any help to somebody that's going through what I went through, you know, somebody that's barely starting and that's probably gonna go through what I've gone through. Like, I'm a totally different person now that I was when I first started. I just still continue to pray to God that one day He will bless me with my little miracle baby, and I still have the little shoes I ordered from before, and I hope to be able to use them one day. And if I don't, then it's just a reminder, you know, that all the struggle I went through, and that I am blessed to even be a mom. And my heart goes out to all the women that actually are struggling, and have not had the opportunity to become a mom, because being a mom is the best thing any woman can ever experience. And my daughter sometimes tells me, and she would see me so upset that she wasn't enough, but you are enough, baby. It's just that I really, really wanted her to have somebody. So I have a sister, and I imagine, and I have brothers, my sister and my brothers, and I couldn't imagine my life without them. And that's just, she's a big part of why I really wanted this, because I wanted what I have. I wanted it for her. But God is big, and you know that He will bless us one day when we least expect it, and then we're not even gonna believe it. But I do have her, and she's all I need, and I do want her to know that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you're still watching, you know, I appreciate it. My heart goes out to all of you ladies that are struggling. If you want to write me a message, you know, and you know, connect through this, and it does help to talk to people that have been through the same thing that you've been through, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions. If you just want to talk, I'm all up for that, and I just hope that I can help somebody, just how some amazing ladies have helped me through YouTube, through Globe, through, you know, all kinds of research that I've done. And but yeah, I mean, I'll keep you guys updated. I'm not giving up. I'm still gonna try, you know, to get my little miracle baby. And if and when I do, obviously I would love to bring you guys in this journey with me. And I just pray that it actually happens, and if it doesn't, you know, it's okay. I've kind of come to terms with it. Still a sensitive subject for me, but I try to look on the bright side. And honestly, like, my YouTube and my social media has really been a distraction and made a lot of help. And I hope to continue to keep doing this and sharing, you know, my stories. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I can update you guys with good news and have a happy ending to this story. But anyways, I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but I didn't think it was gonna be this long. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.